one of the first things that he was able to realize was when he got direct access to the universe. And the universe said the first thing you're going to do to activate your inner connection of what we are speaking on, which is this ancient highway. And he's like, what is it? What ancient highway? What are you talking about, ancient highway? And that was how it was spoken to him of. He was spoken to him in describing it as an ancient highway. Now, 10,000 years later, we're speaking of it completely different. So the universe asked him to lay on his back on the ground, on the earth as we know it. And the second he laid on his back, there was a magnetic pull from his heart to the ground that he couldn't get up. He wasn't able to get up for in excess of 18 days. Tao is empty, yet fills every vessel with endless supply. Tao is hidden, yet it shines in every corner of the universe. With it, the sharp edges become smooth. The twisted knots loosen. The sun is softened by a cloud. The dust settles into place. So deep, so pure, so still. It has been this way forever. You may ask, whose child is it? But I cannot say. This child was here before the great ancestor. Echoing, rippling, realizing. That is your truth, that is your reality. Forever, forever. Perfection manifest. Light beyond light. Seeing beyond seeing. Hearing beyond hearing. This is the great sense, the great awareness, the great power that is realized as you look back at your reflection. Universe. Now. Welcome to the consciousness of the way. My divine delectable co-host, High Priestess Jade.
Good morning.
Good morning. Wow, that was a great morning treat now, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. A gift.
A profound gift. A realization. And I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn. Well, what do we have here? Another profound day.
Mm-hmm.
I must acknowledge the power of pure source. The definitive understanding of this, the really the core, the anchor of you.
Mm.
And this brings us to, you know, the Taoist secret coupling, the synergy, the parallels of our affinity with the universe, the cosmos, as we may recall our true inner working. And then, of course, what that is in relation to this electric, magnetic harmony, the opposing forces, moreover, the polarity, the realization, the yin and yang, the very essence, the truth to everything. Oh. And these ancient practices, these rituals that we speak of, harnessing of this ancient high-tech tool, the synergy of the spirit, the mind, the body. What does that really mean? How is it that we always seem to resort to, refer to, realize this trio that's relevant in everything?
Yeah, it is. The power of threes are very, very evident in Taoism.
Yeah, it's we spoke on it the other day with that recent story that was shared with us, and that profound realization that person had,
Mm-hmm.
and they're coupling with their numerology, the numbers that were symbolic to them, and what that actually meant, what that signified, what that symbolized, and what that was, realized for them in their reality.
Very powerful.
Well, very powerful. And so what do we do better than anyone, second to none, is our cultivation practices in harnessing that 0.07 millivolts of electricity that harnesses the 50 trillion cells, that harnesses the 50 trillion atoms inside each cell, and what that does. And you start splitting hairs. It's an open sort of like sesame process. Again, we talked about physics over and over again. You can literally sit here and start defining the dimensional shift of consciousness that we all have in so many different ways. You use a physics model of dimensional shift. Moreover, I can listen to a dozen mediums or channels that would refer to it just to a state of consciousness, which we always refer it to, but moreover the emotional state, and that's how they associate their parallel to their consciousness or dimensional shift, is where are they on their emotional state. And I can see that. I can see it coming from every different angle. To draw a line in the sand and say that this is how it must be is a mistake. Understanding that everyone's perception is as important as the next.
Mm-hmm.
And that there is no right or wrong, there just is. So how you perceive your reality is for you to decide.
Yeah. It's like trying to explain a cell phone like 50 years ago to someone.
Right.
And they would look at you like, what? That seems, like how crazy is that?
And it's almost like it almost has been. Like I literally,
Yeah.
I mean, they were busting out those brick cell phones, which would have been a new generation and analog phone back in the 80s, in like 85, I think 83, 82. I mean, they would have had a satellite phone before that. So in actuality, I mean, we're probably looking at technology that we're now, using as a basic line of communication, but it literally has been around 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
If we start to get down to the nuts and bolts,
Yeah.
that's kind of mind blowing.
Yeah, and just because we couldn't understand it or see it or conceptualize it at that time
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean, 50 years in the future it's not real, it's not realized, it's not uh, uh, what do you want to call it? Proven, scientifically proven. We're just at where we're at
Right,
right now,
right,
right here
right,
in this moment.
right. So, that brings me to our affinity with our energetic system, the energy body, how Taoists cultivate that, how we've associated our shifts of consciousness due to many different things, but mostly in relation to elements. And then where do we go from there is understanding how to activate those energy centers, primarily the three dantians, being the brain, heart, and gut. And that is associated with our affinity with the sun, earth, and the moon. Now, moreover, understanding the intricacies of how electricity is generated and what that truly means, that synergy between electric and magnetic pulsation, frequency, and the interconnection that realizes to what a lot of indigenous practices refer to as this level of consciousness, this heightened sensory perception that we speak of, which people refer to as the rainbow body. Now, the rainbow body is a real interesting sort of like heightened sense of reality. I would say that most people that merge themselves into any internal alchemy practices, i.e., moreover, most Taoist practices are founded or have foundational principles and rituals that are related to that, because we're always cultivating energy. I mean, that's the main goal of a Taoist, is to saturate the very cells, the very essence of this physical body, so it will lengthen the journey, the longevity of that, meaning that you can hold that anchor. You can take that through your natural born life as long as possible, giving yourself a level up in this reincarnation, giving yourself a level up for your next level of consciousness in your next life that will be reflected on this one. And that's kind of generally how we do things when it comes to past, present, and future lives. It's always great to get a fundamental understanding of the last 9 lives leading up to this one, because it has a great inner working understanding for yourself. If you have zero idea of who am I, what am I doing, when you realize you have a fundamental understanding of the last 9 lives that you have lived, wow, now you have some, a different perception of your reality, a different sensory perception. And so, again, we talk about, everything happens in light speed. It's so strange. I had someone comment on one of my posts that literally, and I mean, I love to use everything as reference points, because everything is a language.
Mm-hmm.
Everything has a value. There is nothing that doesn't have value. But let's say this. Someone referenced something that I said through one of my posts, and they were like, oh, that's that quantum physics gobbledygook. I was like, what? Where have you been in the dark ages, my friend? I mean, literally, we would not have the internet without quantum physics. So I'm not so sure uh, your comprehension of that binary code in of itself is sort of like perhaps maybe you need to go back in time and get back in your DeLorean and head back and hang out with Newton or something like that, because there are so many parallels to the quantum mechanic understanding with that code that is reflectant to what we're doing, everything from lasers to the internet to any type of frequency, any type of wave. We have a very close association with this quantum model that validates so much of the technology that we use today. So that's kind of like to say that quantum physics is some gobbledygook. I would have to disagree with you, agree to disagree, and say that perhaps maybe you should look a little deeper to sort of sharpen your tools and raise your own consciousness up to what's really going on in technology in the 21st century. Just saying.
Yeah, it's just a different point.
It is. It absolutely is. It's kind of, yeah. And I'm just speaking on things that are integrated. When we use quantum physics and Taoism. So really, this new age gobbledygook, if you were to put it that way, is quantum physics in relation to Taoism. I mean, Taoism is thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years old. And so when it comes to quantum physics, yeah, it's only been around 300-400 years. Actually, moreover, physics has been around 300-400. Quantum physics was only realized back in the 1940s. So yeah, we're on a whole new plane. So technically, yeah, we're still stretching our legs out here in attempting to realize this pulsation idea of how information being entangled is being generated and how it seems everything is interconnected. Mm-hmm. For me, that seems very intuitive. I would never think of it any other way. Yet so many people are like, uh-huh.
Yeah, well, it makes me think I was having a conversation with our kids, and I was explaining to them, like, in the 40s, how, if they wanted to send a message, it might take 2 or 3 weeks. Or if, someone wanted to...
A telegram or
telegram,
like that,
or like something,
and,
or something overseas. Like if you wanted to find out what was happening in Japan and you lived here, or a different, how country leaders would communicate. Mm-hmm. And they were like kind of blown away. They were like,
"Excuse me?"
Yeah, it was this very foreign concept that's something that's so instant today. You pick up a phone, or you look online, or you research.
Information is
research,
light speed.
And I said, it was difficult to like make decisions back then, or everything took a lot longer because you were getting information so slowly, and you were only getting certain little parts of it. You were getting one perspective or one little view of a certain city or something. So like looking at everything on a worldwide stage was so different than how it is now. Mm-hmm. With everything that we can do. And I think people still don't really appreciate or realize what type of access to information that we have nowadays, mm-hmm. and how that's kind of completely changed the way we communicate, or the way we learn, or the way we connect with things, because we have that ability to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we're going to speak more on the interconnection between the universe and the energy body for Taoists today. And so understanding, what that really means, and what that is in reference to this desire, this pursuit that people have, and they have for, hundreds of years. The second they got a scent of it is this, I want the energy body, which mm-hmm. is like the pinnacle of, realized consciousness for anyone who's into energetics, internal alchemy, internal martial forms. The glow. I want the glow. Got to get the glow. The glow. Yeah. It's just, that's what Bruce Lee was pursuing. That's what anyone who's seriously into martial form and understands the internal alchemy is looking for that glow, is looking for that rainbow body. And so how do you obtain it? Because, one of the basic fundamental practices for a Taoist is an experience called the microcosmic orbit. And that's sort of like, when you understand, because we had someone ask us this on our social, oh man, I really resonate with when you say all is one, one is all. Well, I mean, that's really understanding, this whole new unified sort of like field scientific research that, is coming out today in relation to the quantum physics model and the understanding of that. And that, they're saying we can validate the universe really is inside every part of you and every part of the universe, and the universe is alive. It's not some dead, separated sort of thing where, no, we're all interconnected, we're entangled.
That gets back to like astrology a little bit.
Of course.
How they say like, oh, it's the Venus moon is out, so or renegade, or the keywords. I mean, I'm not super familiar. Is like why people are acting crazy, or people are off their balance and everything, because it's like that those shifts and those cosmic shifts.
Oh yeah.
Affect. It's like, well, if that didn't have an effect on us, why are all these crazy things happening? Or,
Right.
they love relating it to
Right.
it.
Well,
And,
yeah. I mean,
and that concept is like,
right. And I mean, that's what we integrate. We are in working in concert with the universe, and our physical bodies are just a reflection of that, and that relates to all is one, one is all. And so a lot of the consciousness community that is sort of just raised up out of nowhere, fundamentally more mediums, channels, spiritual gurus, energetic people, light workers, whatever you want to call them, they're speaking on this fundamental shift that we're now, we're shifting to a 5D reality. And that's taking place with the amplitude or magnetism of the earth in, where it is in the cycle of the universe's pulsating, that ebb and flow.
that's
That takes
exciting.
place.
I'm like, I'm getting a charge just you saying it right now.
I mean, so many people are speaking on it, not in a negative way, in reference to, the world is going to end, because there are a lot of people that are quoting, biblical script that, this is the end of days, end of world, the coming of the Messiah, or I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to be quoted on that, but that's in reference to an ancient biblical script, and the complete opposite is happening within the community that I'm and Jade and I are a part of. It's more a raising up of consciousness. It's like a breakthrough, and now you're moving from fundamentally operating in 3D, and now you're operating in 5D, which is like all systems are go. Everything is realized, everything is on, everything is pliable, everything is changeable instantaneously. And so when you understand how to do that and charge that, supercharge that with a thought, feeling, and emotion, visual, audible experience, kinesthetic charge, blam, 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 supercharge that 50 trillion cells that we speak of, and work with them in concert with your attention, intention, creating the rippling effects that fuse wave to matter to particle to whatever, because everything is light. Your attention, intention materializes, manifests anything and everything instantaneously as we are moving constantly, oscillating. And if you accept you are the field is you, magic is instant, manifestation is instant, healing is instant. This is the truth to all things. And so that's a whole nother level.
Yeah. And you just watching this right now is raising that consciousness awareness.
Yeah.
Everything is consciousness. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
Everything is vibration.
Yeah.
And just hearing that alone sets off that little click, click, click.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's just being raised right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's really the inner workings of a greater understanding. And so when we go back to our practices, we have a classic one, which is, the microcosmic orbit experience, which basically is like a massive master switch that turns on the universe inside you.
Like what is it, like the breaker, or like in your house when all the lights go off and you just reset the breaker and then everything goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one.
Mm-hmm.
That realization. And so when that takes place, all of a sudden, all bets are off. So you have this whole new reality, and it switches on pretty fast. And, like I said, and I've spoken on this before, it has never been revealed a true applied functioning microcosmic orbit that I'm aware of. Anything that's been exposed in the Western world has been in lack of all components. In actuality, they're quite limited. So then we get to primordial breathing, embryonic breathing, a much deeper understanding. So now we're connecting. So, basic Nigong Qigong type of practices, creating this synergy, right? And so to access the rainbow body would be turning on the sun fully realized within the upper dantian, activating all 81 chambers of the upper dantian. And within those 81 chambers is 81 lights, 81 frequencies, 81 elements. Oh, yeah. And so when you have that fully realized and that's turned on, we have this mirroring effect, which kind of goes against a lot of the neurological research and latest adaptation of what people consider, the brain and heart coherence. Because you have the death of a star, the ash brings the raising of the red phoenix within the truth teller, the heart, the middle dantian. This is also activating all 81 chambers. And that is the earth realized, which is also housing the keeper of information, which is the jade purity. Now, when you activate and realize that second dantian, you have this magnetic pulse that takes place, and that is like 5,000 times more powerful than anything that's generated from the upper dantian. So when you look at it from a pulsation perspective of brain and heart coherence, what people seem to always refer to is how powerful the brain is. Yet the electromagnetic pulse that's coming from the brain is literally, 1/5,000th of a percent less. So if we had to qualify it, it'd be like you have it's a 5 out of 10 for electromagnetic pulsation, and then you have the heart that's a 5,000. And so you have that intricate sort of neural network of the sensory neurons within the heart, the mirror neurons in the brain. And so you have this huge, I don't know why I got this itch here, this huge magnet that is supercharged. What does that really mean, Sifu? The magnet we speak of. Well, because it is realized as the earth energy, you have the housing of the red phoenix, which is realized as the singular, the oneness of the middle dantian. All 81 chambers are activated. Now, if you look at fundamental understandings of the sun and the earth in of itself, how the electromagnetic frequencies operate as the sun and the earth harmonize, as the sun is projecting the light to the earth, and because of the incredible magnetism of the earth and its ability to redirect that light so that we don't burn up at 1,000 degrees, it's then now translated and transmuted into this spectrum of light, which is also spectrum of colors. Blammo. Now, what does that mean, Sifu? What are you alluding to? Well, this is kind of like understanding how to access the inner secrets of the inner alchemy when we talk about the synergy of the brain and the heart. Not only is the heart echoing this information because it is so powerful, the magnet, and that is the magnet that draws your future, your reality to you. You are no longer, subject to space-time. You're drawing everything to you. You're not walking across the room, across a street, across the world. You're not moving or operating anything. Let's resort back to the simplicity of the scripture. Let the man who's never left his village, let him know he's seen the world. That is not, a metaphor. That is a realization of your true access when you know you are the field. Are you picking up what I'm putting down right now? Because that's where you're going with this. That's where we're going with this, and the understanding of this power that takes place. So you turn on this realization, this activation of the middle dantian, all 81 chambers, which also have 81 elements, 81 frequencies, 81 lights that are relevant to the same 81 chambers that are in the upper dantian. Now, the middle dantian is represented as earth. That's where that powerful magnet comes from. The middle dantian, i.e., earth, i.e., the heart, is the magnet of your reality. It's the magnet that's going to draw everything to you. Now, when you realize that and you understand that the upper dantian is the sun, the upper dantian is the keeper of light, the upper dantian is the electricity, the electric. What do we have? Electric, magnetic, blammo. When that is created, a coherence that gives you that synergy of the heart and brain, and you create the coherence that is necessary to realize the supercharge, you are the field, 0.1 hertz, blammo. Then you have liftoff. Now you are the true magnet of your future, the magnet of your manifestation, the magnet of your reality instantaneously. And so that synergy of the sun and the earth is so reflectant on the simplicity of understanding how the sun projects the light to the earth and how the magnetism of the earth redirects the light and translates it into a spectrum of light and frequencies that is transmuted into the very color that you realize and recognize as the sky. And that particular frequency and color, my friends, is all powerful. That is a recognized realization of 5D right here, right now. When you can accept that you are the field, just the acknowledgement and realization of that color and your integration of that within your own manifestation practices means blammo to healing, blammo to manifestation, blammo to magic instantaneously. Oh yeah, you got that supercharge. Are you picking up what I'm putting down right now?
And so, what is the third Dantian?
The third Dantian is the synergy, the 81 chambers of light, 81 chambers of elements, 81 chambers of frequencies that then become the synergy of the electric magnetic culmination as one.
So it's like you have the yang, the yin, and then the
And that
yin yang all
and the
together
realized
connected.
the moon is realized. And so you have the combination of sun and earth, which is realized as the moon, as that lower dantian, which is the keeper of the energy, the keeper of the magic, right here, right now. Oh yeah. And so when that's turned on, you have the synergy of the three pure ones. The keeper of light is supreme purity, upper dantian. The keeper of information is a jade purity, middle dantian. The keeper of the energy is highest purity, a lower dantian. And so this is our affinity with the universe on a much deeper level. We speak on it. These are practices that have been around thousands of years. And let me tell you, they are realized in what people are saying in the physics model today. The universe is inside every essence of you, every particle of you, right down to a photon. It is realized as complete within it. So that is reflected on the holographic model. What? Well, listen, we've been operating that way. Look, we talked about the system when we realize hands and feet, Lao Gong points, the most neurologically innovated components that are within your physical body. Hands, feet, head. And so they're the first ones to get lit the F up when it comes to your energetic sensory perception, the supercharge that it takes place. So once you start laying that down, for most systems in relation to any sort of ancient Eastern practices, i.e. something is more common that people will refer to as reflexology, the whole system is within your hand. The whole system is within your foot. The whole system is within your face. So when I do face reading, I'm able to assess someone. Now I can draw from the actual field, look at their aura, start reading the auras of the individual organs. Or if I am of the ilk, what an interesting expression. I don't know why I use that, but if I'm of the ilk, and it's got nothing to do with any sort of secret society, trust me. If I'm of the ilk that I want to just I'm not even looking at the aura. I'm not going to do my clear sense, clear viewing. I'm just going to read someone's physical body. You can get anything and everything you need from their physical body, the traits, how they are being realized, how they are being transmuted into wave to matter right here, right now. You can look at the texture of their skin. You can look at the lines within their face and know anything and everything about that individual within seconds. Just as you can identify face reading, hand reading, feet reading. This is ancient Eastern practices, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. And that was materialized by the Yellow Emperor. And oh my goodness, that's a story in of itself. We need to do a whole podcast with the Yellow Emperor on the way that he realized his interconnection with the universe and then how it guided him through his every action in putting together the foundations of China as you know it today, thousands and thousands of years ago. General infrastructure, but moreover, the thing that I gravitate to is his affinity with the universe, which is a Taoist thing, and then understanding that incredible harnessed power that he was able to generate. And oh my goodness, I mean, telling me right now, and it's funny because we had this conversation in previous, um, you know, experiences that he and I have had, and he sits me down and goes into much deeper levels. But one of the first things that he was able to realize was when he got direct access to the universe, and the universe said the first thing you're going to do to activate your inner connection of what we are speaking on, which is this ancient highway. And he's like, what is it? What ancient highway? What are you talking about, ancient highway? And that was how it was spoken to him of. He was spoken to him in describing it as an ancient highway. Now, 10,000 years later, we're speaking of it completely different. So the universe asked him to lay on his back on the ground, on the earth as we know it. And the second he laid on his back, there was a magnetic pull from his heart to the ground that he couldn't get up. He wasn't able to get up for in excess of 18 days. He was laying on his back for 18 days and nights. I mean, I'm blown away at this point. Now, understanding that connection, because that synergy was his interlocking of what he had, the infrastructure of the middle dantian and the actual direct magnetic pull from the earth that was drawing him. It was like this magnet that would not let him go. So within that whole experience from day 1 to day 18, it was his training, his deep training into understanding the inner workings of this highway that the universe talked about. Yeah, that's that charge right there. Because that powerful highway that we know of today as the meridians of the human body, the energetic pathways that are realized within ancient traditional Chinese medicine, was the highway that the universe spoke to him of 10,000 years ago. I'm getting juiced right now. And so his training was part of being able to integrate his inner workings as the universe activated each meridian all the way through to the 18th day. And only then, and he was using his respiration to draw from the elements that were around him. No food or water. Whoa, this is getting crazy right up in here. Wow. I'm not even sure. I don't know what to say right now. But I can tell you I'm getting more excited by the second. And so that will be of another stage. Stay tuned on this channel for our next episode. Anyway, we'll move right along as we're all being mind blown at this point because I'm super excited. I want the Jade Emperor. The Jade Emperor will be back with us at another episode, and I want to go deep into the understanding of his interconnection with the universe and how it trained him to access these energy points that we know of today, which is the intricate synergy of Nigong and Qigong, the mastering that we have as Taoists of the power of moving energy with your mind, the power of moving energy with your breath. And that's what we do. We do better than anyone. Right here, right now, baby. Off the hook. Whew. Oh, my goodness. I don't know about you, Jay, but I'm blown away.
Yeah, that's a lot of energy going on right now.
Well, it's not just, but think about how he was mastered, how he mastered that interconnection. And we could, moreover, reflect on that as what some people call today as a breatharian. Imagine not being able to move for 18 days and nights from the ground.
Yeah, go into that because I don't think a lot of people know what is a breatharian.
A breatharian is literally someone who has mastered the inner workings of their energy body and have it completely coupled with the inner workings and understanding of the meridian system, and you're able to nourish and regenerate your energy from the elements around you. As we talk about it all the time, the moving of chi with your breath, the moving of chi with your mind. And that is a mastery in of itself, ladies and gentlemen, ladies.
So instead of getting your energy from, like food is energy or water is energy, you are just getting that, you're tapping into that energy from the universe, from the elements, from the other things. So you're basically...
Which is really the main source. I mean,
yeah.
Think about it. Think about it, right? Fundamentally, we understand how there's a synergy with the sun and the earth, and, a little bit more interworkings of quantum physics, which a lot of people are still calling it gobbledygook. I don't understand that. But anyway, realize that this is still an hypothesis. There's a lot of ideas that are floating around that they can't be qualified or quantified necessarily. And that code, that binary code, is critical to that realization. Now, we operate with cell phones, we operate with the internet. Quantum physics is realized. Quantum physics is being applied. There's still a few questions that are out there on some things. I don't have any questions about my interconnection as one with the universe. As Taoists, we don't have questions on that at all because we know it. We've known it for thousands of years. And the Yellow Emperor was just getting into the deeper understanding of that when he shared that with us just a few moments ago. That kind of training, my friend. But I mean, to be honest, to be very, very candid with the audience, when you start channeling these energies and you get direct source, as I speak of, that I experience, that I share with you every day, that I get instant access to, it's a whole nother reality. I mean, we have a lot of our subscribers for the app, and they're having all these fundamental shifts in their energetics. They're like, oh my goodness, I'm feeling all this heat, I'm getting all this energy, because your energy body is raising up. Every week that you do another 7 days of the Way 126, it opens up another energy center. And you just keep leveling up. And with that energy center is an emotion and virtue that is being realized and is being synchronized and is creating the fluidity that is you, the universe, as one coherence.
Yeah. Very, very powerful stuff. And it is, I mean, even just from a personal experience, because you might get some people that go like, breatharian, come on, how could you live off of nothing if you don't have food or water for 2 days or 3 days, you're dead. That's it. It's been scientifically proven you need certain things. And, I know from your own personal experience that when you get in that state and you stay in it, it is like you're not.
Well, your consciousness.
Yeah, you're not. Your physical body is just like sitting there waiting for you to go back into it.
Right.
But if it's kind of like the idea of like your car. If you're not using it and you don't turn the engine on and you don't do anything, it sits there. And then when you're ready to get in and you use it, you turn the engine on and you step on the gas and it goes. It's kind of the same type of thing where it's like you're not using anything in it. You're way out doing what you want to do. And it's absolutely real that, you can be a breatharian with that mastery, and it's been realized thousands of times over thousands of years.
Yeah. I mean, and that mastery is being able to operate that car too with that direct source. So, how do you think you have a cell phone? How do you think you have internet? How do you think you have energy per se? These are all waves of light. And people need to realize that. And when you're able to master your ability to access it, because that's all it is, everything is energy, frequency, vibration. You have to tune and acclimatize yourself to it, and you access anything and everything instantaneously. That's why we always speak of you are the field. When you realize that the field is you, you are the field, all is one, one is all. And then you are abundant, timeless, endless, limitless, infinite, the truth to everything. It's never ending, ever.
Mm-mm.
So that power, that realization, whew, yeah. So we spoke on the fundamentals of the microcosmic orbit. We spoke on primordial breathing, embryonic breathing. That we've gone through a little bit of that previously, but these are sort of fundamental Taoist practices, one of thousands, but let's just say these are foundational beginnings for people. And so the inner workings of that is the sun, the earth, the moon, that connection between the lower dantian, middle dantian, upper dantian, all 81 chambers in the upper dantian, 81 chambers in the middle dantian, 81 chambers in the lower dantian, then the realization of the sun, the realization of the earth, the realization of the moon. And so sun, electric, earth, magnetic, moon, combination of the two. Blammo, you have liftoff. And that's where you get this sort of coherence, understanding the synergy, where you activate the sensory neurons within the heart, which you have a whole small heart inside your a small brain inside your heart, which then becomes interconnected with the brain and synchronizes with that mirror neurons of the brain, creating the coherence of zero point 0.1 hertz, which then sends a signal down through your neurology into the gut, giving you this, as everyone would call it, I have a gut feeling, and then it's always accurate. When you create that synergy, blammo, all day, every day.
Yeah, that feeling just runs through every part of your body.
Oh, yeah.
You just feel like a big neon light.
Right. And so, we do simple things. Respiration is that realization, as Jade was saying, you step past the physical body, you step into the energetic body, you step past the energetic body, you step into the spiritual body. That in of itself is the oneness. So you want to operate in a 5D, spiritual all day, every day.
Yeah.
Understand that. So you're no longer using the old-fashioned, conventional, physical body, mouth, nose, respiration through the breath of the lungs. You are breathing through the very core, the essence of you, consciousness.
Yes.
So, we also have a practice called bone breathing, breathing from the bones. Moreover, you go even more expansive than that as you step past the physical, past the energetic, past the spirit. Consciousness is all of the above, all interconnected at one, which someone would refer to as a 5D reality, and that's just the beginning of leveling up. But let's just say that that's the taste test. And so that 5D is realized, everything on at once. Boom, all the lights on in the house. Blammo.
That's supercharge.
Supercharge.
Yeah. And I think people say that too all the time when I think it's easier to realize when someone's passed away and they've like shed their physical body, and they always go like, I know their spirit's with me. I know they're here with me. I still feel their, it's more of like a spirit versus consciousness, but you could easily change the two words, and it's like, I still, just because their physical body maybe has moved on, that consciousness, that spirit, that energy is still, people feel it.
Right.
Oh, yeah. People sense it.
Yeah. I mean, again, we're masters at the energy, baby. Take those 50 trillion cells and switch them on, and we are Rocket Man, we are Plutonium Man, we are Plutonium Woman, we are all is one, one is all. We are energized to master our attention, intention, and put it in any direction we want, and control and create manifestation, healing, magic at will. Blammo. And so that is really the mastery. So, okay, we've spoken on the sun. And then, hey, Sifu, you said the rainbow body are equivalent to. Okay, so look, that's how most ancient systems, indigenous rituals would signal to a high level of consciousness, the mastery of all that is, your ability to move attention, intention, mastering the maestro of the energy, being able to push it in any direction you wish to. Okay? So, when you do that, it's referred to the rainbow body. Well, why is it referred to the rainbow body, Sifu? Well, I alluded to it before, but it has everything to do with this bad boy, the sun, supreme purity, the light, that synergy when you get those 81 chambers activated and you turn on that pure light that translates into the spectrum of frequencies, the spectrum of colors that you realize, and that is the rainbow body. And when that takes place, blammo, like I told you, the middle, probably middle of the road from low frequency to high frequency, the highest being phosphorus white light, i.e. also reflectant on other metal elements that we use within Taoism for the upper dantian, which is platinum, gold, silver, diamonds, emeralds, and rubies. That is part of the inner workings. But let's just say you're in the middle of the spectrum. When you activate that blue light, which we have witnessed to all day, every day, that's what takes place with the magnetism and the electrical charge from the sun to the earth, where that frequency is realized instantaneously. Walk outside and see it. You can double check, triple check that one. That's 5D right there, ladies and gentlemen. And if you access that, you realize that as your truth, all bets are off.
Yeah, and what do you think about the power of like sunrises, sunsets,
Oh, yeah.
that shift between, the sun coming up, the sun
Oh,
going
yeah. Oh,
down?
yeah. That's another realization that we use in peaking a frequency, peaking an energy, peaking a vibration, the birth or the high point of any particular energy. Absolutely. 100% used real time in all different types of rituals and magic. And we never leave anything to waste. Everything has its place, everything has its purpose. Sacred words, sacred numbers, sacred letters, sacred symbols, all integrated into an incantation, into a manifestation, into a realization, healing right here, right now.
Would you say people who are like live in certain areas where they don't get the sun that often, like, northern pole, southern pole, something like that, have a harder time because they're not getting as much, they're getting a way excess of that kind of yin energy
Yeah.
versus the electricity?
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can transmute that when you understand how to redirect the weather magic. You can transmute that into whatever is necessary, so you can emulate that frequency, energy, vibration, because that's the whole point of it. You want to become a master. Who is the master? Shogun. You ever seen The Last Dragon? One of my all-time favorite movies. Vanity, rest in peace. Loved having her on the show a couple of months ago. Understand this. Know this to be true. There's never a moment of the honeymoon is over. You can replicate instantaneously any energy, any frequency, any vibration at will. So if you are in a place on planet Earth and you are operating the circadian rhythm of the earth itself, you can still transmute and translate and vibrate and energize whatever you need to, however you need to, whenever you need to, right now. And that's the mastery. So it's never too much, never too little. It's just perfection.
Mm-hmm. And the way 126
Does exactly that. It's a go time.
Yeah, it gets that alignment.
Oh my goodness. And I mean, so many people are using it for much more than just mastering their emotions.
Mm-hmm.
They're activating a whole different level of consciousness, which is one of the effects instantaneously, is being able to start to harness your neurology, because you only have to be exposed to it once, and then you can start doing a daily test to realize how powerful you are, how quickly you're integrating that into your own experience, and you're able to master the experience instantaneously, having that effect.
Yeah, it's kind of like when someone goes on like a journey, like, oh, I want to lose 100 pounds or something, and they go, I have to do it for my heart or whatever they have a specific reason, and then once they get to that goal, they're like, wow, I wanted it for just my heart, but I didn't realize I like have better self-esteem. I can breathe better. And they get like all the, 20 different bonuses that they weren't necessarily thinking about, but that just comes with it. And it's like, this is amazing. And that's kind of what happens with the app, is like someone might start it for a specific reason, and then they get all like 20 of these things they didn't even realize. And they're just like, yes, thank you.
Right. And I mean, you just keep leveling up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people are telling me, I used to read auras and I felt really sad. I lost that clairsense, and I started using the way 126, and boom, I was reading auras again. Mm-hmm. This is what happens. Your sensory perception gets heightened instantaneously.
Yes.
So mastering emotions is one of like about an infinite amount of sensory perception. That's really limited by your imagination only.
Yeah.
But we've got to start somewhere. Just have a goal, boom, set that, and just keep leveling up. Level, bam. That's what it's about. Oh, yeah. I feel like, we've spoken so much on those dantians that, other than the rippling, bubbling brook effect that I'm having right now within my dantians, as you are, and the audience will realize that at this point, we might do a quick chi respiration master crash course on those dantians. So, as you've just realized, and you're like, holy moly, what is going on here? He just mentioned that, and it's starting to ripple through the camera, and I'm feeling it in every part of my physical body. Well, I figured we should get a little taste. Remember, this is what I've been doing for over 30 years, energy, frequency, vibration. It's instantaneous. I put it out there, and it's out there. Oh, yeah. And so what we're going to do now is, just as I'm speaking to you, you're feeling the percolation of that within your gut, within your heart, within your brain. And now I'm just going to drop that seed in there. I'm going to drop that frequency. Bam. Upper dantian. Bam. Middle dantian. Bam. Lower dantian. And now you can let that little percolating, circular little fun factory start to oscillate a bit more. Isn't that interesting how that works? And so now we're going to just tune you up just like the amber of a cigarette, because you have those three energy centers that are oscillating and they're starting to percolate. And all you need to do is drop into that even greater to make it easier for people at home, or whether you're a master of it or a guru, you can just close your eyes for a second. And I just want you to just breathe in 9 times, follow my lead, and then let the 4th of July take place as we are now realized. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again. 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 2 more. Last one, you're going to hold it. Hold it. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale. Oh, yeah, baby. All or nothing. Let that reverberate, oscillate, vibrate to the very core and essence of you. That's it. Expand a little bit more, a little bit more. That's right. Beautiful. Right there. Attuned right there. And then your respiration will do the rest for me. I just planted the seed of energy. Now your respiration is just going to burn that up, man. Because with every breath, you're going to feel more heightened your sensory perception, more heightened your inhale, more heightened your exhale. And it's just going to get fun, fun, fun till the daddy take a T-bird away. And your little amber cigarette amber is just going to just be piercing with that bright amber glow. That's right, sit with that. Transmute with that. Expand with that. Let that be the true essence of you. Oh my goodness. That's right. Yeah, you see. You go right to it. Jade has always been a fast learner, so, once you get that high, you get that fun factory, you got the oxytocin, the nitric oxide, you just feeling good. You add a smile to it, and it's like supercharge. Oh my goodness. That's all it takes. And you are a Christmas tree. Now, if you just smile and inhale and exhale through your nose, through your mouth, and you be the judge of that experience, my friends, because it's only going to get greater. Oh my goodness. Oh. Stay with that for a little bit longer. For all those people out there that can barely hear my voice, it's an echoing silence in the far distance. Stay with that state. Be there. Know that you're very conscious, and you will return when you need to. You will be present when you need to. Right now, you're in the experience. You are expansive. Let that be you. The oneness, the Tao, all that is. And for those that choose to listen to my very voice as they slowly reel their way back to this present moment, consciousness of the room, let that be too. Know that there is no right, there is no wrong, there just is. And the very infrastructure, the core of everything is laid out perfectly for you. Realize that. And with that, I'm going to thank the audience for my co-host, High Priestess Jade. And I am your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn. I'm going to see you on the next one, guys.